Well, my name is Gladys Moreno Fuentes. I am a counselor at the Council of Student Development. Professionally, I am a clinical social worker. I have been at CCSU since 1999, a long time. And I would like to know the name you major, what year are you in at the university?
Before we begin, I do have a biography for you, so I can introduce you. But welcome to our Mentoring Mondays program here at the Latin American Latino Caribbean Center. My name is Moreno. I'm a student assistant here at the center, and today we have Gladys Moreno Fuentes, who is a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Connecticut, who has a master's degree in social work and has been providing clinical services since 1994. She is certified as a trauma practitioner in EMDR and as a life coach. Her clinical approach is informed by evidence and strength-based approaches that include cognitive behavioral therapy, body-centered and mindfulness-centered therapies tailored to each client. Her goal is to create a safe, respectful, and supportive space for the therapeutic process to unfold naturally. Ms. Moreno Fuentes has worked in a range of settings, including community-based mental health, foster care, public schools, and college and universities. She is also bilingual in English and Spanish.
Thank you for such a beautiful presentation. And your first name, year, and major.
My name is Colin. My major is computer engineering technology, and I'm a senior.
My name is Leilani. I am a junior, and my major is media studies.
My name is Gladys, and I'm an assistant here.
Well, thank you for inviting me to talk about mental health. And I prepared something about mental health and Latinos, especially Latino students. I have been researching this subject. I haven't finished my research yet. Um, and there is a lot to say about this subject. I was planning to do a more interactive, ask questions about your own experiences and your expectation for the presentation, but we don't have too much time. But I would like to start by saying that, as you may know, I'm going to call Latinx because it's a more neutral term instead of Latinas or Latinos. Latinx is the single largest ethnic minority group in the United States. Right now, we have 19% of the population in the U.S. Latino. Um, um, Blacks are the minority, the largest racial group, minority group, but we as ethnic, we are majority. And I like to say Blacks instead of African Americans because in that group we have people from Africa, from the Caribbean. Not all Blacks have been born in the United States, and I think Black is more inclusive than African American. Okay. For Latinx students, college students, there are very specific issues affecting their mental health, and we don't talk much about it in our community. If we go to the background information, many Latino students K to 12 come to the United States as children. Their first language is Spanish. In fact, the largest group in the English as second language students, K to 12, the largest group is Latino Hispanic. So language is one of the issues that many Latinx students struggle with. Immigration status. We have a lot of students who are undocumented, or maybe they were born here, but their parents are undocumented, and that what I'm talking now is about source of stress. Level of academic preparation. If we talk about especially first generation Latinx students who are coming from urban communities with schools, under-resourced schools, those students may lack, especially they came to the United States, maybe third grade, fourth grade, and they are attending under-resourced school in poor neighborhood that receive less funding. and have less resources. Those students may be less prepared to go to college. The math level, the English level may be different from students who attend um, schools with higher resources, communities with more money, those schools have more allocation for resources, and those students may come to college very prepared. So there are issues that do not belong to the student or their family, but the system. So we have a social inequality system. We have poor and rich. So, and all those issues will affect the mental health, the stress level of the Latinx students coming to college. What I'm telling you is what I have found studying the subject. Another issue that have been found among Latino students is financial related issues. Many Latinx students have 2-3 jobs, not only to support themselves, but also to help parents to pay rent, utilities. They also are expected to contribute, especially after they finish high school. The other thing is that transition to college is very stressful. And the literature clearly explained that any human being, no matter rich, poor, black, white, Latino, for any person, transition to college is one of the most stressful stages in lives of young adults. And there have been studies with college-age students and people of the same age who do not go to college, and the level of stress of the college students are higher. A lot of changes, coming from high school to the university. There is a lot that I don't even need to get into now. However, minority students, I shouldn't say minority, now it's called emerging majority, of students of color experience a high level of stress than white students. Why? The academia is very white middle class oriented. I would say male middle class white oriented, very European oriented. So as minority, many times our Latin students, I'm going to talk about students of color in general, the experience. Fitting in is an issue. And then what we call in social work, internalized oppression. The way I talk is not maybe the way these people talk. The way I dress may not be the way these people do. How they see me. Because we all internalize concept of who we are based on what the society say about us, about everyone, And so we have a way of believing people are interpreting or having a concept of who I am based on who I look and how I dress, how I talk. And if what I have learned in society, what I represent is bad, that is going to affect my self-esteem. And it's going to create a level of stress trying to fit in. And in addition, many of students of color experience microaggression at the university. You hear professors making comments but completely inappropriate. I can tell you, I have been here since 1999. I hear all in my office making inappropriate comments sometimes. Peers, roommates. I can give you example all the time. But all those experiences add a level of stress to minority students, additional to the normal stressful experiences students in general have when they go to college. First generation college students experience a higher level of stress because they are the first one in the family going to this stage that no one is going to be able to help me in my family to navigate. Even filling out the FAFSA, how to talk to the professors, how to navigate changes of classes. Sometimes you have to figure out that by yourself, and if you are not very aware of the resources, what to do and where to go, especially as a freshman or sophomore, you may be a little bit shy, feel comfortable approaching professor or asking. Many times students even drop out or start failing, and all those stressors have been associated to poor academic performance. And all those stressors are associated to mental health issues. Why? Because if I am worried about fitting in and worried about how people are going to perceive me and hurt when someone makes an inappropriate comment, and I come underprepared and the level is a little bit higher than where I am, I'm going to be anxious. I'm going to be questioning myself. Am I smart enough to be here? Will I be able to make it? That can lead to symptoms of depression, to anxiety. I have so much to share with all this. So, given that we have very particular issues that affect our functioning, our stress level, and may lead to mental health issues, sometimes we wonder why we don't have more Latinos seeking mental health. As you may know, in our communities, well, and that is in the literature clearly articulated in the literature. Communities of color seek mental health at a lower level than whites. And when we talk about Latinx students, you may know that in our community, who seek mental health? Who is going to see a psychiatrist or psychologist? Who do that? Los locos. Yo no estoy loca. I'm not crazy. Yeah, that is the stigma. That is better now than when I was growing up in Puerto Rico. You know, people who go to get help is because something is wrong here. So there is a very high level of strong stigma with that issue. Our community many times depend on religious figure for help. They go and talk to the padre, the priest, or the reverend, the pastor. Many families seek help from those individuals, and sometimes some of them don't even have a degree, or many times the lack of information of our family of some issues, problema de los nervios, nervous problem. Yeah, have you heard? Está mala de los nervios. So the lack of understanding of how all those stressors can lead to symptoms of depression, anxiety, and how that has an impact on our functioning. If I am depressed, I may not be able to get up from bed to go to classes. If I am depressed, I will not have motivation to do work assignments. I start procrastinating, I don't have the energy, I feel down. I may not go to classes. I start isolating. I can tell you a sample of students who have been in their dorm for weeks. When they're failing, then they go to our offices and you have been in your dorm for a month, and then you haven't been going to classes. All that happens when you are dealing with anxiety or depression. Something that has been found among Latinx college students is they have a higher level of anxiety, and that anxiety has been associated to being worried. Latinx students, and that is based on research, worry a lot, and that the worry is associated with high level of anxiety, which affects sleeping, and that is again the same finding, affects sleeping, and the lack of seeking help in community of color based on stigma. Sometimes they don't trust the system, going to mental health. I am undocumented, my family is what will happen. It has been shown also that Latinx has been misdiagnosed. Many have been diagnosed with schizophrenia or other diagnoses that did not apply. Language can be a barrier to seek help, or fear of perceived discrimination. Will the therapist will understand who I am, especially if the therapist is not of your same ethnic background. Sometimes all those issues interfere with seeking behaviors, help-seeking behaviors. Okay, the main thing here is our counseling services on campus. But I'm saying this because many times we underestimate how the stressors are contributing to mental health symptoms, and then we don't look for the help that we need on time. Our counseling center here is part of the Student Wellness Center. The Student Wellness Center is the umbrella organization that has three components: health services, wellness education, and the counseling center. I'm going to focus on, because I don't have too much time, the counseling center. Our department has 5 full counselors, licensed in Connecticut, master level counselors. We also have PhD. And we are open from 8 to 5. And we have several groups that I will be talking about. Okay. Yeah. So we offer individual, if needed, family, meaning sometimes students, they need to facilitate conversation with parents. When needed, we include that. And we offer several counseling groups that I will be talking about soon. We offer psychiatric services for students who need medication. We now have a psychiatric APRN who prescribe medication. We do crisis intervention. This is very important for you to know. If there is a time when something just happened, someone called you from family and said, hey, so-and-so died, it's a crisis. Yeah, you will be devastated. Sometimes the crisis is because, honestly, for some people it may be something small, but for someone else can be something big. You know, I just got an F in a class that I really needed to pass. If I don't pass, it's offered again in 2 more semesters, and I was supposed to graduate this May. This is devastating. My family was already expecting me to graduate in May, and they go to my office, a crisis. This is big for me. So don't underestimate what can contribute to a crisis for you. That is very unique. You can always walk in and say, I need to talk to a counselor right now. Risk assessment for students who are suicidal. It's good if you or one of your peers, you see someone struggling, you can walk that person to our department for risk assessment. We refer students to the community when we don't have, for different reasons. Sometimes students look for services that we don't have, but we engage in looking for the services and transition you through a referral to those services. Sometimes the court mandate anger management for students who get in trouble. We don't have that, but we can find the resources in the community. Sometimes eating disorder. No, and now we have someone who has expertise in eating disorder, but sometimes the need is higher than what we can offer. Inpatient, for example, we refer to the community. Something important to know, our service is confidential. We are the only confidential place on campus. You know that, yeah? If you open up and you share with the professor something, professors and everyone else on campus are mandated reporters. And all that is done to protect you and support you. We are not mandated reporters. So what you share in our office, stay in our office. The only time we cannot guarantee that the information is going to be confidential is if you share that you're going to kill yourself, you're going to kill someone else, if you share that you know about an elderly who is being abused or a minor. We need, by law, we need to do something to protect people. I'm going to mention some of the groups you have in the back. Oh no. Do I have a group? Oh, here. Yeah, sorry. I gave you the wrong one. So maybe you can pass this. Yes. We have some of our groups are designed for very specific subjects as additional support. The Healthy Living, the first one is designed for students who are struggling with some issues that may relate to addiction. You know, sometimes we have the urge, especially now, some students struggle with the urge to play videos and they cannot stop. And they give into the urge, and that can happen with food, that can happen even in romantic relationship. I want to urges that you find yourself doing compulsively, the healthy living at Friday at 3 o'clock, this is all when the group used to be at 7, but we had the group. So you can refer yourself or you can refer other students. Listening Without Prejudice is a group designed to support the LGBTQ students. This group is on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. The Womankind is a very nice group of women. This group focuses on self-care, self-love. It's a very good group, very always good. I'm not sure we had this group this semester. Peer Power is a group designed for students struggling with student in the autism spectrum. Calm and Connected is for students who deal with anxiety. Yeah. The Connection Men's Resource is a very good group that meets on Monday at 5. It's for additional support. It's kind of a brotherhood connection and network. Healthy Mind, Healthy Body is for students who struggle with bad relationship with food that can lead to eating issues. My colleague who does the group has an expertise on eating disorder. Of course, this is the group that I facilitate, and I brought this to leave it here for you. The Latina Leadership and Personal Development Group is the only group that is takes place out of the Counseling Center and is on purpose. I do it in collaboration with the Women's Center to reach out to a wider population. Students don't have to the center, they don't have to be associated with mental health issues, and it's a great partnership with the Women's Center. It's on Wednesday, this semester is on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We have a component called Wednesday Wellness at the every end of the month. There will be a presentation tomorrow at this Wednesday. The presentation is going to be about financial issues, so it's welcome. It's open to the group is open to whoever wants to come. So if you want to find out what Gladys, Dr. Gladys Colon will be sharing with us, join us tomorrow at Wednesday at 4. The grief group is organized usually once every semester for students dealing with loss. So you can always inquire when the grief group is going to be this semester. The narrative therapy is a group for students who have been in therapy in the past, and this is kind of for additional support. For now, these are the groups we have, and I had to be wrapping up. Any questions before I leave? Yes.
How would you go about joining any of these groups?
Good question. You can call and say, I am interested in this group, to the lady answering the phone. You will have to complete an intake, because there will be a counselor asking you all the questions, doing assessment, but you say, I just want to be in this group, and you will be directed to the group. So you can appoint. Any other questions? No? Okay, maybe at some point I can come back and talk more about issues affecting Latinos specifically. There is a lot. I have 22 pages already written. That's supposed to be published soon. And I would like to hear more about all of you. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Oh, you know what? Leave it here for your students.